Good morning. Welcome to Resource Prepping. I'm your host, Greg. Thank you for liking and subscribing to my channel. Thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you for your comments. I do appreciate them. I do respond to them. And keep liking, subscribing, and sharing my channel. I thank you. Have you ever wondered if you're alone out there prepping? Obviously, on YouTube, there's, I don't know how many thousands of prepping channels. But have you ever wondered how much it has grown? Are you alone out there? How are you doing compared to the rest of the people? When I started prepping in 2009, let's say for real, there were very, very few of us that actually had any help and even fewer supplies available to us. So we had to do it by reading books, magazines, pretty much everything else. There was a few chat rooms on Facebook. There were a few YouTube channels that actually were talking about survival that weren't full of, full of crap. And a lot of the people I listened to and watched are gone by the wayside because they were exactly full of crap. But my things have changed. No longer are we considered the fringe element of society. We've gone mainstream. Prepping has gone mainstream, as you well know, and by the prices. And by the way, I was looking for cases of MRE. When I first started buying MREs, I was paying with shipping $50. Now to get a case of military MREs for one case, you're looking at easily $175 or more. There are many, many different types of MREs out there, so choose and pick which ones you want. But to find a reasonably priced MRE anymore is just ridiculous. So, what am I trying to tell you? I'm going to read you some fun facts. I did some research. Take a break from gloom and doom. See how you compare to 1,839 adults that responded to the survey. See where you're at on this. There are now approximately 45% of all Americans, or an average, and this is average, 115.6 million Americans admitted they have spent money on prepping supplies and or equipment. Let me tell you something. When I started this, like I said, way back when, to spend that kind of money and to find the proper equipment, we were called nut jobs. Now you have 115.6 million. That's a 25% increase from 2019. 72% of adults, roughly 185 million, are prepping for the end of times. That's a 20% increase from 1919. 25% of adults prep because of COVID. 9.43% prep because of political events. We've all seen it. Mobs attacking Trump supporters or libertarians or politicians. 9.43% say, I'm prepping because I don't want to get caught in a mob. 33.6% stockpiled toilet paper so they don't get caught without. How glad are you stockpiled when everything was shut down for COVID? Those people were smart. The best thing that ever happened to bringing the missus completely on board with prepping was we missed the lockdown. We didn't have to go anywhere. We didn't have to get anything. We didn't have to buy anything. We didn't miss anything. The only time we ventured out was just to see what was going on because everybody was saying how empty the shelves were. We went to go see for ourselves. 41.6% of preppers spent an average of $258 on stockpiling food and water supplies. An average of $258 on essential food and supplies. My opinion, that's not near enough. That's nowhere near enough to get you through a year. that may get you a month or two, but that's nowhere near enough. Home renovations. People are saying that they spent money to add security, renovate their home, make it more secure. 18% say they added to their home an average of $530 renovations. To me, that could be fencing, that could be barbed wire, that could be improvement on windows, doors, adding stuff around their house to make it more secure. $530. Average amount spent on self-defense equipment, and or supplies. An average of $172. Again, not near enough, but you do what you can. Average spent on additional medical supplies, meaning they went out and bought IFAKs, more medical supplies, more gear, tourniquets, and everything else. An average of $119. Again, I have told you, if you are planning on living out of your medicine cabinet for, rough times ahead preparing, you're way behind the curve. You need a lot more than that. You should have, in my opinion, at least a 4 or 5 drawer plastic medicine cabinet that you can get at any of your DIY stores. And each one of those trays should be chock full of over-the-counter medicines and stuff. And then you should have a tote full of gauzes, bandages, tourniquets, Band-Aids, that kind of stuff right there. Gauze wraps, ace bandages, all that kind of stuff. $119 a year is not near enough. Average set aside. Now, this is what I found interesting. People who are setting aside money in a specific savings account for emergency prepping, emergency supplies, $962, almost $1,000 for emergency set aside for prepping supplies and or food. Good on you. That's very good. Here's something that'll tell you where we're headed at. 51% of preppers are men. 40% are women. 9 did not respond to the survey. I thought this would give you a little bit of insight, hopefully tell you where you're at, give you kind of a measuring stick of where you're at, where do you land in all this? I looked up Ohio. 14% of Ohioans are preppers. That's woefully low. Vermont has the highest amount, one of the highest amount of preppers per population. Surprising. So we've come a long way from the time I started, where we were tinfoil hat wearing nut jobs as seen on National Geographic, far right extremists, kooks. Now we're mainstream and we're paying the price for it. One last thing, when I bought a gas mask, this is not the same type, but when I originally started buying a gas mask, Israeli gas mask, survival gas mask with a filter, was $25. Now look at the price. A lot of people have climbed on board, so something must be to it. As I tell you all the time, stockpile a lot of food, a lot of medicine. You're going to need it. That can be traded for food, will be the new currency. Get yourself right with God. Get baptized. Thank you for liking and sharing. Greg out.